I know as marketers, sometimes we don't think about what happens once we generate a call. Our job, maybe we think, is done the minute that we've generated the best possible call we could into our call center or into one of our locations. But the reality is, at the end of the day, your value, the value you're driving to your business really does matter in terms of that call experience those locations or call centers are providing. Some stats here: 1 in 5 calls from paid search go unanswered or to voicemail. That's 20%. I'm not a math major, but I believe that's 20% of calls. So think about, is that a wasted opportunity that you drove, and what can you do to change that? Another study shows that 84% of callers will cease doing business with a company after a bad call experience. So the call is answered or they're being passed around and that agent or location is not giving them the right experience. They might not do business with you ever again. So it is in your best interest to provide the best possible experiences to the callers you're spending money to generate into your business. So things like unanswered calls or calls going to voicemail, having people wait on hold for too long, or if they're being bounced around from agent to agent who aren't able to help them, this is all hurting your marketing ROI. So what can you do about it? There actually are some things that as marketers you can do in order to provide a better, more seamless, frictionless outcome when people start online and move to the calls and call your business. So the first thing is intelligent call routing. You can actually set up rules, and these are examples from DialogTech's platform, but you can set up rules to route callers differently based on their data or your business processes. So think about where you're sending calls. Are you sending them to a call center? If you are there agents within that call center that are better suited to answer specific inquiries, either by geography or product type or sales intent versus support calls? Who should these calls go to? And what is a good lead for you when they call? What attributes make up someone who makes up a good lead? And how should you route good leads versus support calls? You have all that data I touched on earlier about who the caller is and what drove the call. You can use that data to drive callers differently based on their data and your intent. So for example, you can set up rules where you can route people from different web page callers, so they call from your careers page versus your, one of your product pages. You can route them differently. You can route people differently based on where they're calling from within the country. If you have agents who are specialized in a particular geo, for example, or if they're calling and you want to send people to a call center or a location that's open based on the time of day or their location or time zone, you can do all that. You can separate callers from sales versus support and route them differently in order to have the best outcome. Again, it's all about getting people to the right person to help them based on their intent and value to your business. And the sooner you do that, the better the outcomes can be. I want to give you just 2 quick examples from DialogTech customers who are doing this. C2 Education is a child tutoring franchise. They've got a call center, plus they've got around 200 locations across the country where parents take their kids after school or on weekends to get tutoring help. So what they wanted to do, they don't want their locations, those people who are there to tutor kids, to be answering the phones all day trying to convert new leads. Instead, they want those new leads to go to the call center where agents are staffed and trained to convert callers and answer questions and convert them to customers. But they don't want those agents spending time answering calls from current customers who might just be calling to reschedule a child's appointment, for example. So they route callers at the time of the call. Callers get automatically routed to the call center if they're new leads versus to the locations if they're existing customers. And doing that, they've been able to increase their calls to enrollments by over 150%. So it's really impactful. And a senior living provider, a customer of ours, they've got a call center and they've got hundreds of communities, senior living communities across the U.S. What they do is they have an algorithm that scores people who are visiting their website based on their activity on the site. So if they visit certain pages, their score accumulates, and they use that score to determine if this is a good lead versus potentially a support call or not as valuable of a lead. And what happens is when they call, DialogTech uses all of that web browsing data and that score to route people either to the call center or to the communities based on their score. It's really cool. So think about where you're sending calls and the value of those calls to your business. And if you could route people differently, how would you want to do that? These are things that are possible today. You can also prioritize higher value calls. So if you look at your marketing data, your call data, and you see that people who call from a certain campaign or web page or from a certain location in the country convert to customers at a higher value or spend more, you can prioritize those calls so your call center answers them first. The longer they wait on hold, the more likely you are to lose them. Getting them answered first is a way to increase your conversion rates. Here are two customers of ours that are doing this. One is a big online retailer. If someone is within their shopping cart online and they call from a number within their shopping cart, those callers get prioritized because they're clearly a valuable lead that needs help right away in order to complete a purchase. A different example is an insurance provider where they route callers from historically high-value zip codes to a VIP call queue. So it's people who call from certain areas of the country that have proven to spend more and convert at higher rates. They prioritize those people within the call center, making sure they get answered first. And just by doing this, by doing nothing more to their marketing, but just improving the call experience, they've increased conversion rates by 2%, which is actually millions of dollars in monthly revenue. One more thing you can do as marketers, I talked about all that data you're capturing at the time of the call, who the caller is, the keyword search, the channels, their location, all that information. You can pass that to your call center agents via a screen pop before they answer the call. So, think of your Jake from State Farm who's getting a call at 2 in the morning about a bundle or something. He can know at the time of the call who the caller is, why they are calling, what keyword search they ran. In this example here, you've got someone searching for HVAC repair. All that information can pop up to that agent right before they answer the call. So instead of spending time with who the caller is and why they're calling, that agent is armed with insights that they can use to have better conversations and deliver better outcomes and conversion rates from those conversations. It's sort of a way for marketing and sales to work together by sharing data in order to drive better outcomes when people call.